This is the weathered Kylo Ren. It really looks like Anakin's saber, half the price of this one. And 5 orders will win 5 Graflex.
Welcome to the Saber Factory.
Hello there and welcome to the Saber Factory. This is the monthly digest of April 2025. And this month we've got a couple redesigned sabers, or let's say a new entry for this one. This is the weathered Kylo Ren, also coming with a new slide out core structure that we'll see in a minute. This is the Stunt Graflex. It is a stunt version of Anakin Episode 3 lightsaber, or like any Graflex for the matter, and a new version of this one. This replaces this, so we'll have an in-depth look into it, as well as a very quick overview of the LED saber stand that I presented in a three saber stand version, and this one is the single saber stand version. So we'll see that in a minute. I also have some news for you because we're entering the biggest sale of the year. It is the anniversary month of May, and through that period we also have May the 4th and Revenge of the 5th. From May 1st to May 31st, you have an entire month of discount. It starts on May 1st with a 10% discount on all sabers throughout the saberfactory.com. It is automatically applied at checkout, so after you've gone through your cart, when you check out, you will see the code applying automatically. So that's the entire month of May. Of course, during the month of May, we have May the 4th and Revenge of the 5th. And those 2 days, it is the biggest sale of the year. You have 15% off on replica sabers, like this one, the Graflex. You've got 20% off on dueling and custom design hilts. And you've got 30% off on accessories. And that's not all. I'm running a raffle. So basically the way it works is any order made during those sale events of May, so from the 1st to the 31st, you will be entered into the raffle if you bought any lightsaber. Not accessories, but lightsaber. And at the end of that, during the course of June, so that I can account for all orders, etc., I will do a raffle. I will draw the winners. Like, I'll see if I do it on YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram, I don't know, but the results will be posted everywhere, and you will know. And 5 orders will win 5 Graflex, so 1 per winning order, and the customers will then receive this Graflex Episode 5 and 7, the new redesigned version that I presented a couple months back. So that is a great win, and it will be the Profi version, so the best version of all. So that's it for the news. Now I think it's time to look at what I have here on my table. So in front of me, I have a couple redesigned sabers, and I want to start with the Stunt. So I'm going to move those here. The Stunt used to be this hilt. It is pretty simple, and the idea behind this saber was to create something that would have the looks of Anakin's lightsaber, or the Graflex, depending on how you want to see it, but make it light, cheap to produce, and so inexpensive for customers, and ergonomic. So no control box, no big buttons, no bunny ears, something pretty simple to have in hand. And this is gone. This is no more, and I've removed it from the catalog a month back because I knew that this redesign was coming. And the difference is striking. Basically, I think it's more fair to compare this one with the actual replica saber. Same format basically. The aluminum is slightly brushed, so it's a little bit in between the very chrome, brand new looking style of Anakin Saber and the more brushed version of the Graflex. It's a little bit in between. But mostly what you have is it looks a lot like Anakin Saber. And you just have less elements. You don't have the orange knob, you don't have the red button, so here the orange button, but you do have the bunny ears. You don't have a control box, the whole clamp thing from the Graflex, you don't have it, but you have something that sort of mimics the design, the pattern. You do have the same strips. So you're keeping that and a similar pommel cap. So basically a very similar design, but it is almost, if not more than half the price. Massive difference. Inside, you have a Eco slide-out core. So basically, it's the same slide-out core that you would find on replica sabers or custom design sabers, but it doesn't have the power switch, the kill switch. So it doesn't have that option that allows you to sort of save your battery. So if you want to save your battery because you're going to shelve it for months, remove the battery. But you know the drill, slide-out core. The button matrix sits in the middle. This is, you know, your button, and as simple as that. So it's a simple design. It just takes what makes the Graflex an iconic design that's recognizable if you wear it on your belt with the included Covertech wheel. It really looks like Anakin Saber if you look from afar. So yeah, some more information on this one. It is 410 grams, so it's a little heavier than most dueling hilts, but it's also much lighter than most replica hilts. So it sits in between. It's a good balance. So it works. If you want to train with it, if you want to spin it, if you want to duel with it, it works. So the emitter is deep enough that you could put a NeoPixel to baselit adapter. So it's also a great saber that you could use with, you know, buy the NeoPixel version so that you can use the NeoPixel blade. But if you want to duel and don't want to risk breaking a NeoPixel blade because they're more expensive, then you could put a baselit adapter. That works. Yeah, let's have a look. Your blade, 1 inch, because this is a sort of dueling range lightsaber, so it's always 1 inch. Couple turns, and so this is a baselit version that I have here, so it's the lightest, the best. My recommendation for when you want to spin, train, or if you're on a budget. And yeah, it's the same Xeno 3 that you know, same capacity as with any other saber. I can change color.
Color change.
Of course. I still get a lot of people. The most common question that I get in the chat is, can I change the color on my lightsaber? So it might mean that the website is not clear enough on that, but of course you can change the color, and it's RGB, so it's just gonna browse through the whole spectrum. And yeah, and you stop it whenever you feel that's the color that you want. And let's make it a mace purple. Of course, different blade modes that you can change, blade styles. So yeah, not going to demo again all of that Xeno 3 can do. You've got the app on your mobile device, and you can change all parameters and make it your own thing. There you go. It's the Xeno 3 standard. This one with a slide out core, so easy access for charge. You can also just remove the pommel cap if you prefer. And by the way, this dueling hilt has the quality of a replica saber in its design, but it also has its drawback, which is basically that the hilt is much thicker than it would usually be with a simple dueling saber. And this pommel part here makes it that the Bluetooth connectivity is rather decreased. So yeah, I absolutely recommend that you slide the core out when you want to set up your parameters via the app on Bluetooth, and then put it back in, and that's the way it's going to work. Going to shut it off, but yeah, I just quickly wanted to show you that when I have it in hand, because usually this is where the control box would be, you have a much better grip because the control box is not there. And so when you have it in hand, no one can see that it's sort of like a lighter version of Anakin's saber. It really does look like Anakin's saber. So yeah, I think it is the best deal that you could get, because this is almost, if not more, for the baselit version than half the price of this one, the replica. $129 USD launch price for the baselit version, $159 USD for the Xeno 3 NeoPixel version. So that is a great deal. And of course, during the month of May, with the offers that I'll be running, you've got 10% off during the whole month, and you can have, because it's in the dueling section, you can have up to 20% discount on this launch price. So it makes it one of the best sabers you can have, and it's in keeping with this idea of creating those basic editions and more duel-worthy editions of hero sabers that Nexus has gone into. This is the Obi. It's the sort of the stunt version of Obi-Wan's saber from Episode 3. It is, just like in the movies, they would use easier to take in hand versions of those sabers so that they wouldn't hurt themselves and they could duel with ease. And that's the idea. It also is the best, cheapest version you can find for those sabers if you're on the budget for your cosplay. So, great deal. Very quickly, I want to mention that this saber has VHC threads, but there's a but. You see, I can take a VHC accessory and it fits. But because of the slide-out core, again, it's one of those sabers where it is not in the VHC category because you can't really swap parts or extend the hilt with like an accessory, because then if you extend the hilt, there's nothing locking the core in place, and so I don't recommend. But if you know what you're doing, it might be good to know that this has VHC threads, so here and here at the bottom, because you've got a male thread pommel cap here. So just an FYI. Continuing with those design updates, two things. This is the standard Kylo Ren lightsaber that you know from Nexus, and this is the new weathered version. And I want to show you the weathered version because I have said many times in past videos that when the sabers are weathered from the get-go by the factory, it is a bit of a hit or miss. And I have removed weathered hilts in the past because I thought that the job was not too good. Basically, a weathered hilt is usually between $20 to $50 more than the standard hilt because of the work that goes into it. And it very, very quickly sort of like piles up and makes for a lot of delay on some of the first orders when they're released, like this one, etc. And sometimes the work can get a little botched, and the original intention of we want to make a great weathered hilt becomes we have too many hilts to make, and it becomes meh. And I've kind of noticed that with Nexus weathered sabers in the past. So I kind of wanted to check again, and I want to show you in video, and we'll look with this camera here so you can pick up more details, and you decide if you like this weathered look. So basically, the hilt itself, I don't have much to say. I like it. It basically looks like it's been used, and it's mostly on the edges. The black paint is sanded, you know, brushed off on the edges, so it gives sort of a contour style that works. And where you have to ask yourself, would I rather have it turnkey from the factory, not have to do it myself, send it to a saber specialist that's going to weather it for me? Because when you do that, you have to wait sometimes weeks, if not months. And some people who do installs and weathering, they take 6 to 8 months to do your saber, and it's sending it back and forth. The cost might not be, it might be prohibitive. So you might think, hey, you know what, if it's just $30, $40 more, I'd rather have it done by Nexus, and then I will, you know, adjust, do my thing with it. And so what I want you to look at mostly is the black, sort of like the dirt, the grime. That sort of black paint that's applied on top of clear parts like here. You know, I think that from 30 centimeters to a meter away, it looks good. It just, you know, if you look here, it just looks good. If you compare to the one that's sort of like brand new, well, it's not brand new. This one is quite old, but I haven't damaged it. It might just do the trick, but when you look very closely, because it's your prized possession, you know, you might think it's a little maybe too basic for me. So I'd rather you see exactly that weathering process and decide, okay, do I value this weathering process for $30 and I'm going to go with this version? Or would I rather get the brand new one and do my own thing? So I think that for just giving you that choice, this is joining the catalog on the saberfactory.com, and I'll be keeping an eye out for you know, on quality control, and see if the weathering process is still on par with this. So yeah, the last thing I want to show you with this saber, because it's to me the most important update on Kylo Ren saber, is the fact that before it was a standard fixed core. So when you wanted to recharge or access the internals, you had to remove this wire through the grommet here, and over time, after removing it, reinserting it, it might become hard, if not impossible, to put it back through. And then you had to open it and you would access the core. Now there is a new design for the clean and the weathered version, of course, that's coming out. That's a slide out core, and you don't have to go through like reinserting the wire necessarily if you want to, but it might not necessarily be easier. So with this slide out core version, you can either do this, remove the wire from the top and get it out of that grommet here, or you can remove the pommel cap, slide this out, and you simply have to take the wire out of that gray section here and remove this. So you don't have to like force the wire into the grommet anymore if you want to access your core, and then you can charge it, use the kill switch, you know, etc. Reinsert it. It doesn't take long, but yeah, some people would prefer taking the top half part away. But anyway. And now, let me just quickly demo it for you. Classic Kylo Ren sound font included with Xeno 3, but also other boards. There you go. So, still the same cool saber. You really have to know what you're doing because of the cross guard. The tips can be a little pointy. So, yeah. Of course, you can change colors. You know the drill with a Xeno 3. For now, it's only Xeno 3 NeoPixel. The Profi version will come back later to the catalog. There was never a baselit version. And one of the biggest changes that I want to show you is mostly thanks to that new core structure with the slide-out core and the central matrix hub. Now, they've redesigned how the side blades are wired. Because you used to have, I don't know if you can see it here, you used to have on the standard core structure, you used to see the wires inside, because the wires, they would basically go out from the main core and into the side blades here. And so if those wires kind of sort of like got out of there, they could pile up on the NeoPixel, the pogo pin, and there was a very small risk that you could sort of like crush those wires with your blade if you didn't pay attention. So it required a little bit of care. Now it's over. Now you do have the wiring inside the hilt, and there is no visible, you know, wire inside of this emitter. Not anymore. So that's also I think the most important improvement in design is the electronic structure, and the rest you choose clean or you choose weathered. The two share the same electronics now. It's just a matter of finishing. The price is unchanged for the clean version. The weathered version is, as I said, $30 more. It's 409 USD launch price. And the Profi, and it's for Xeno 3 NeoPixel. The Profi version will be coming back later this year, Nexus tells us, but I have no timetable for that, so I can't really tell when it's going to be. Moving on to our last element, and you might remember when I demoed the LED saber stand, the Imperial LED saber stand for 3 lightsabers. Well, now we have a 1 saber stand also. It's USB-C, and the same remote that works with, if you have one, of course you have a remote no matter which you buy, but if you have multiple of those stands, the remote works with all of them, so you can change colors, etc. And so now with the single saber stand, it's smaller, it's more compact, and of course it works just the same. You can switch colors. You can dim the color. You can have sort of like different modes, different illumination mode, etc. So yeah, and it's perfect for when you want to display just a hilt. It also works if you want to display a hilt with a blade. It depends on sort of like, you know, the balance of the saber. If I put the blade in here, it's a 82 centimeter blade, so I kind of need to balance it differently. Just do it like this. So you see I have to like actually put it on the blade itself. But it also works, you know, just a question of balance. If you wanted to put the hilt on it, yeah, doesn't work because then the balance is off. But that's your LED. So yeah, that's your LED Saber stand. This one is 45 USD launch price. It is half the price of the 3 Saber stand. It is more compact. It's lighter, so easier to ship with most orders. So it's a great accessory, and yeah, just looks great. It's you know, polycarbonate stand, aluminum enclosure, and yeah. And that's it for today's digest. It wasn't as long as some that I've made, so I'm proud of that. I want to remind you all, again, don't miss this month raffle to win one of those 5 episode 5 Graflex lightsabers. Any order containing a lightsaber during the month of May will enter the raffle, and I will keep you up to date. Of course, it's the best sale event of the year, so you're going to look at 10% across all sabers for the entire month. And or during May 4th and Revenge of the 5th, you're gonna have up to 30% discounts depending on the products. Everything is applied automatically at checkout. You have nothing to do. It just goes on top of every discount that we already have on the products that you see. And that's it. You know, leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, all the shebang, you know the drill. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next month. May the force be with you.
Join me, leave a like and subscribe to this channel. Join me and together we will get the best deal on our lightsaber.